please be gentle, and please welcome Nadine Blochberger with a huge applause.
Hi, yeah, welcome. I've mentioned already, I have a surprise for you today. And the surprise is, of course, some slides for all of us. And the secret is, I can only read it, so I won't explain it to you, okay? And I'm here as spontaneous to talk to you about our vast digital age. And I would love to discuss briefly touch base on the challenges we are facing in our local and global economy in today's society. And to be able to answer that question, I would love to make a brief jump into history. And if you look at history, we usually find every 400 years roundabout that major things are happening, so major changes happening, roughly 400 years. And there are good news. We're exactly in this kind of time period, in this transition time. So we're actually living in a very, very exciting time right now. So talking about economy, let's look at the old way of doing economy, which probably started around about in 1615, which was really, we were basically driven the last hundreds of years about strong extreme materialism and societal hierarchies. So what does it mean? So we basically consume more. It was all about consumption, especially when in 1840 the industrialization started. And it's all about consumption. Basically, we are producing a lot of new products, and all in a fast, very, very fast way, in a more cheaper way, and so on and so on. So basically, everything got produced only for single use. You just look at plastic, and that results in environmental destruction. So that's kind of the old way. We have the new way, which already starts. We have realized, kind of waking up, that's the way we can't go. So there are new products and services which we provide now with and by technology, which tries to overcome these challenges. But my question is, do they truly solve our problems? And to be honest, I say no. No, they don't. If you really look deeply, closely, the methods we use in our new economy are like kind of covered and painted with the old methods we used for in the 70s or 80s, and they're covered and painted so they look fresh and new. But if you look closely, they're kind of similar. Yeah. So what has really changed? Yeah. So most companies, for example, are mostly driven by the survival of the fittest. They're driven by material gain, by financial gain. It's still in the majority of the world, it's still like that. And yeah, so the promises of the new economy basically are not really fulfilled. And it's creating instability of power imbalances and overused consumerism. So we created, basically through all the technology we have, we created connected loneliness. So we have WhatsApp, we have social media, and so on and so on. And we actually, in front of us, with the phone, with the devices we have, we can actually connect to the whole world. It doesn't matter where we are, and very, very fast. Great. But we created connective loneliness. What I mean by that, actually every one of us craves to be close to someone, and a human connection, which we thought we can create by technology, social media, and so on. But actually we created the reverse. People feel more and more lonelier. Yeah, so people crave the human connection again. So what do we do? I think if we go further and value profit before purpose, it could be on the expense of humanity. And so what's the new way? Looking forward, I think the new way is taking the old linear way of thinking and the new economy, a new creative way of thinking, and including values, because our young people around, young or old, people looking for more wisdom and a conscious lifestyle, a conscious way of living, leading, and working. So we're taking that all together, and if I say values I mean compassion, I mean creativity as values, I mean empathy, we heard it just in the previous talk, and so on and so on. I mean intention and mindfulness. And if you put that all together, we create a new one, which I call the holistic economy. So holistic economy, what could that be? I think we need to understand that everything is connected to everything else. So we need to stop thinking in silos. We started always thinking in silos. For example, let's solve environmental problems. Let's solve educational problems. But we think in silos. We don't even consider, if I pull the string and do something in the environmental area and try to solve the business, what happens actually somewhere else? And that's where the key holistic economy is coming in and could solve our problem moving forward. So we need to understand that everything is connected to everything, and that we need to orchestrate everything better. And my question is, who's leading that? So who's leading that further? And for me, I mean, you probably know that our world is driven by specialists. So if you recruiters are looking for specialists, you have to be really, really, really good in this one thing. And they only want that. If you have one thing that they're looking for and you don't have that, you're actually out. So, and I think, yes, we need these specialists, absolutely, who are focused on a specific area, but actually the future belongs to generalists. People, these are the people, and I know there are probably many around here in this room and everywhere else, and they're people who do not fit into the small costume of a specialist. And these people, the generalists, will drive this movement forward, and they have the ability to think and orchestrate seemingly unrelated topics together. And these people we need. We need people who understand, if we pull a string, let's say an example of a company, if you pull a string in marketing, what actually happens in sales and in the other departments too, it doesn't really happen these days. It doesn't. They are kind of started and so on, but it's not really integrated. And why do we need to do that? What I see everywhere, society, the whole world is trying to solve symptoms instead of the cause of problems, and which results in no or only short-term solutions. And we see that. I mean, there are single-minded leaders tenaciously at the front, pursuing their own agenda, and they really do not consider the wider impact they have on people or departments or the whole world. They don't, and that has to change. So actually, leadership is playing an important role here. And when I say leadership, I don't mean the leadership, the single one-minded, which it has been before. I mean actually a conscious way of doing leadership. And leadership, in my terms, for how it should be rather be a role of a mentor who is able to guide people to example of, just coming up to example of new work. I mean, new work is kind of, I don't know, I think it goes kind of in a different or wrong direction, because people think they can transform from one extreme to another, but there are no other people in between who actually will lead the transformation, the transition. And we need these people, so kind of a mentor style of person who can drive and lead a change slowly. So otherwise, if you don't do that, it causes rebellious acts potentially, a tremendous chaos in my point of view. So if you do slowly, step by step, and leading slowly better ways of thinking forward, it's a much easier way to implement this change. I have to look at my slides briefly. Yeah, so I think a little bit faster. To my conclusion, the paradox actually is to be able to build a holistic economy, a holistic way of thinking. We have to focus on our individual uniqueness. So what that means is, really cherish and celebrate that we are not only different, but we are truly unique in our own being. And I think that doesn't happen. We always want to have the followers who are exactly like us, or we want to become the leader or exactly like the other person. And I think that's completely the wrong approach. we should approach our uniqueness to be able to understand that we actually can unite in a very holistic way. And yeah, so right now I feel my conclusion, we live in a complex world, complex made world, led by narcissists right now, but actually this world could be very, very simple and very, very beautiful if you just make a little adjustment here and there, just for once. Yeah, and I would say, and it fits very well right now, we need to watch out more for the misfits, the outsiders, the non-normal standard people, the artists, call them whatever you want. People who seemingly do not really belong in the society. Do you know why? Because these people have understood a secret. They know really the secrets of living, of how being creative. And I feel innovation can't even exist without true creativity, which is not coming from a mind, but comes from here, from a body consciousness way. Yeah, and these people have figured out, and they're playing a major role in moving everything forward. That's it, thank you.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Just take a look at the art which we see behind you. So you're laughing.
Yeah,
so
Any
spontaneous
challenging, yeah.
any spontaneous comments on that? Anything which is wrong or anything? Would you print it and go to your living room and put it on the wall?
I'd love to actually. I mean, it's a good reminder for being spontaneous on stage and took a challenge myself.
Yeah, I think honestly we all can imagine how much courage it takes to stand in front of 40 foreign people without having known this in the morning. So maybe again, please put your hands together for Nadine.
Thank you.
So we have still 6 minutes time for your questions. This is of course a part where you can't be prepared for.
Yeah, I actually love that either. I like that more than preparing it.
So questions.
Well, hi. My name is Stefan. Thank you for this spontaneous approach here. I have so many questions because when I think this through, and maybe this is an achievement. I think what the idea you get is kind of a vision, or you say what we lack maybe in the future is more like a vision that we combine our forces and think differently. But all my questions are pointing out: is this then still democratic? Who is in charge? How do we find the people? How can we connect? Because I think we're trapped in our individualism, and we are not really thinking the big thing here. And what are your thoughts on that?
Thank you. It's an amazing question. Thank you. First of all, I think, which I haven't said now, so yes, I'd love to add it on. Individualism always bears danger. You have to be careful not to be driven by only, oh, it's my way and I do it my way and it's all my individual way and I don't care about the others. I don't mean that at all. I mean that, yes, we need to think for ourselves and need to stop to give or to trust our outer authorities. So let's stop it. They're not really reliable anymore and won't be in the future. So we need to stop to create, or be careful to not create more narcissists and selfish people, because otherwise that's going to blow up, yeah? And how to find these people? I think slowly but slowly people wake up, become more conscious and aware about that. And actually it starts when we just take a company, it starts with HR. And honestly, HR in most companies, they do a bad job. A very bad job, because they're not knowing, they do not understand what talent is really needed or what value a generalist can bring to a company. They're not, they grab.
Sorry. We don't have too many HR people sitting here.
No, and hand on heart, it's just my opinion. Obviously not everyone, not 100%, but yeah.
Anyone who wants to defend himself or herself?
No, but if you want, we can take this conversation further and answer lots of questions. But yeah, obviously it's challenging and it is a vision. And but it's a vision which is very important, I feel, and which we have to bear in mind.
Further questions? As I tell my students all the time, there are no stupid questions, there are just stupid answers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Axel Huckbart. I'm just in the process of founding a company, and I definitely see myself as a generalist, and I find it's always very hard to focus on one thing, and I always am very easily distracted by all the other stuff I'm interested in. And do you have any advice on how to actually stay focused and gallop that one way?
Thank you and welcome to my world, because I always felt like an outsider and said, hey, come on, why do I have to specialize? I'm so diverse, and diversity is everything. So why do I actually have to do only one thing all the time? I get bored. I mean, some people can that, I'm respectful for that, but I can't. And how do I focus? The good answer is you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. And that's what I got really annoyed with myself, which I said, why can't I sit still? Why can't I focus and do this? And I said, why would I? That's exactly me. And that's what I mean with individual uniqueness. Maybe Ralph is sitting there and can work. I look at him. Yeah, yes. And but it's not me. And the good news is, honestly, don't judge yourself. You don't have to. If you want to swap 3 times a day doing this and this, do it. Why not? Who says it doesn't have to be linear and different? But I'm happy to share more afterwards if you like. Thank you.
Another question. We still have 1.5 minutes time. Okay, then I have a question which I really like to ask most speakers today. What has been your personal biggest mistake or biggest learning you had in your whole career so far?
Do we have another 2 hours? Honestly,
You have 1 minute.
I won't make it in 1 minute. There are many, but summarize it to really listen to me, myself, and my kind of inner voice, if you want to call it. So because I think objectivity gets removed out of an equation when we follow only the methods which someone else has produced. So really looking, hey, this person makes that well, and this person this, and then maybe this one this and this, and put it together, and then being me, more authentic. And authentic means it doesn't have to be one role. Authentic means in a situation to react as me. It doesn't matter what happens. It is having integrity, for example. So in finding that own uniqueness, it's all about that. It's about individuality. And to not have done it earlier. And probably that's the biggest mistake. It's not a mistake, it's make me who I am, and I learned shit loads on my way, and I'm self-employed now since 2.5 years, really. And yeah, lots of things happen. So yeah.
Thanks for your honesty. Thanks for your spontaneous presentation. And I don't know if you today in the morning you weren't aware that you will be here on stage, and I think you weren't aware that you will have a very good and tasty red wine when you go home. Thank you very much, Nadine.